Hello all and welcome back to another Ponytown wishlist video. Today I have Ponytown wishlist number 12, and this special episode has 8 things that I really wish would come to the Ponytown game. That game that, I make all kinds of videos and stuff about. If you like that kind of stuff, if you like Ponytown content or pony content and stuff like that, feel free to subscribe and things like that. But we're gonna go right into this list with this first thing. These are in no particular order, by the way. So this first thing on this list is railroad tracks to the party island. Now, the more I think about this idea and things like this was an idea I thought of a very long time ago, and the more I've thought about it since, the more I kind of think about how difficult this would be to actually implement in the game, because there is multiple different track pieces that are in the game right now if you go to the caves, and it would be lovely to have everything that's in the caves, but those rails would be really nice, especially since we got the mine carts and everything and stuff like that. I think it would be really nice to have, but it would be easy to implement, I guess. It would just be hard for the player to kind of line these up and stuff like that, and that could get annoying. I don't know, it just seems like an idea that would be just a lovely little addition to the build menu, and I don't really have anything else to say about it other than maybe they could work somehow. Maybe if you had a minecart there, maybe you could push it or something, I don't know. But that's kind of all I have for this first thing. So let's go on to the second thing, and that is front and back facing beds. Did you know beds were added to the game a very long time ago? They were added so long ago, I can't even remember how long ago it was when they added them, but they have never once given us a, left-facing bed, or well, they gave us left-facing bed, but they didn't give us a back-facing bed or an upside-down bed or anything like that. They only face 2 specific ways, and that is it. It's weird to me that we got these, new sofas and even the benches and stuff eventually added to the game in the build menu that had, of course, left-facing, right-facing, back-facing, front-facing, but they didn't do that for pretty much any of the other objects in the game. It's a very odd thing in my opinion, and I really wish that they would do that to other things in the game. And the beds are honestly kind of one of the only things left to really do that with. So it's kind of odd that they haven't done that, but it would be really lovely to see that happen. And it would even be more wonderful if they gave us a new tool that would actually rotate objects so that we wouldn't have a massive cluttery build menu with all of these things facing different directions being considered different objects. So that is number 2, and number 3 is sending mystery gifts to players. I guess technically in a way this is kind of already the case. If I hid behind a tree or hid behind the building in the party island or some other thing like that, or even in Ash's Town, I guess, if you wanted to hide behind one of the buildings there or hide behind some other random object in the game, you can technically give someone a mystery object because they can click you and they won't know what it is until they accept it. But it would be really nice if you could, give someone those presents, those little gift boxes or whatever the hell they're called, and give them to a player, and then they can open it and it will be, a random thing. It'll be like, oh, it was a 4-leaf clover, wow, that's really nice. Or, oh, it was a banana, that's even better, things like that. It would be really nice to give someone this gift and have them actually be able to open it. Obviously, it won't open into, one of the toys that you can collect, but it would be really nice to be able to do that year-round and everything, and I just think that would be a wonderful little addition to the game, and I'm not sure how difficult that would be to implement, but I feel like it could be difficult because it's kind of hard to say, like, oh, I have this item, how do I put it in a gift box and then give it to them? Maybe you pick up the 4-leaf clover, or you pick up the banana, and then you pick up the present, you pick up the little gift box, and then boom, it puts it in that, so when you give it to someone, they can open it. I don't know, that's probably the best way to implement it, but I just think it'd be a really nice little thing, and you could definitely do some trolling with it. You could obviously play around with it, and you could also make mini games out of that, most likely. So that is number 3 on the list, and we can move on to number 4. This one is an extremely simple one, and it's something that I've wanted in the game for a very long time, and that is stepping stones. Like, we have log slices, and we have cushions, and we have rocks and tiny rocks and water rocks, all that jazz and stuff like that, but we don't have, like, stepping stones. There's no, like, stone pathing that isn't just pure stone, like the whole thing is stone. It would be really nice if we can get stone objects, these tiny little circular or squarish stone slabs that we can put on the ground that we can step on and stuff like that, and kind of wander across, maybe we put it in a river, or maybe we put it in a lake or something, and this is what we're using to bridge instead of those log slices like people like to use. These things wouldn't float, obviously, and they would have, obviously, the water animation and stuff like that when they're in the water, so it'd be a really nice thing to have. I just think it would be really useful, and thousands of different ideas that I can come up with right now that of ways that I would use it if it was in the game, and it's just not in the game. But I really wish it was, because it would just be so good to have that, because it would take the place of a lot of log slices that look kind of ugly in a lot of builds. If they were stepping stones, then they would probably look better. So stepping stones is the next one, and there's not really much else to say about it other than I think it would look really cool in a lot of builds. So next up on this list, that's right, we're already at the 5th thing on this list, is glass walls. Now we have something almost like this. We almost have glass walls, or clear windows and stuff like that. We have, of course, the ice walls. They're an object that you can place. I believe they're in the holiday section, probably. I don't actually know which category they're in, but they're in one of those categories, and you can place ice walls, and there's different types of them and stuff like that, but they're not proper ice walls, or they're not proper glass walls, I guess I should say. You could argue that they're not proper ice walls either, because they're very, very slim and stuff like that, and they don't really take up a whole lot of space, but I digress. Glass walls would be really cool to have in the game, because you could put some glass walls and have like a like a little lab RP or something like that, or even like a police thing where it's like an interrogation room or something like that, and you have them behind the glass, and you have that little role play of that or whatever like that. It would just be really cool to have too, because it's always fun to be behind things and be able to see through them without having the weird effect of like the thing going 50% opaque or whatever when you go behind it, like you do with trees and stuff. So it would be a cool thing to have, and it's something that I've wanted for a while, especially when we got the ice walls. I was like, oh heck, we definitely need those now. So that's number 5, and let's move on with number 6. Number 6 is a more complicated one, and it's not something that we just add to the building UI and everything like that. It's more of a seasonal, more of a special event type of thing. I would really love to see fireworks in the game, like actually working fireworks. I think it would be a really cool addition to have, like, for example, on New Year's events and things like that, perhaps Chinese New Year's events as well, and stuff like that. It would be really cool to have them, have fireworks that go off every now and again or something like that in the game for those kinds of special events. I just think that would be awesome. There is ways to do that. I don't really know what else to say other than like maybe some of the fireworks have these special patterns, like when they explode, maybe they take the shape of a banana, or maybe they take the shape of like a character, like a pony or something like that. Maybe it takes the shape of just the pony face. They hide those a lot in a lot of places. But it would be really nice to have these fireworks, especially if there was a good variety of them, and especially if they use them only specifically for very special events, such as New Year's or the closing of, like, Christmas events or something like that. I think it would just be lovely and a nice addition to the game. So let's move on to number 6. Now, this number 6 one is a tiny bit complicated, but also really neat, and honestly something that I feel like should have been in the game a long time ago, and that is clocks. There should have been clocks in the game a long time ago. Right now, if you obviously press your settings icon or whatever like that, you can see the time that is passing. For example, if I were to do it at one point, maybe it will say something like 13:02 or something like that. That means it's currently 1 o'clock p.m. for all of you Americans out there. I'm American too, but you know what I mean. It's currently 1 o'clock in the game, but not in real life, obviously. The time is like, I think 20 minutes per day or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but I digress. It would be really cool if we had a clock that you can place on your house, or even just clocks that may just happen to be on a building somewhere in the main game. Perhaps when they start building that town, maybe they have a clock tower somewhere that has a clock, and it could display the actual time of the in-game time. Like, it could display the actual in-game time, and I think that'd be freaking amazing, because right now, if you want to see the in-game time and see how long it's going to take to get till night, you have to open the settings and look in the corner, and it's kind of hidden away and stuff like that. And that's not a big deal or anything like that. I'm totally fine doing that. I just think it would be a nice little reason to add the clock. And I just think clocks are cool, right? Clocks are so freaking cool. And of course, you can still stick to sort of the rustic old style Steam and have like a grandfather clock and things like that instead of having this big digital clock. So there's ways to implement it, and I think it'd be really cool. You could even have a variety of clocks. I just think overall it'd be a really cool thing. So that is my idea for that. And we got to move on to our last idea. That's right. We only have one more idea left on this list and in this video. It is the wish list idea number 8. And this one, you're probably going to be surprised by, because I haven't heard a single person talk about this or think about this or anything like that, but turning the sprites off. toggleable sprites. You see all those butterflies and all those fireflies and the bats and the cat, I guess, is technically one as well. All these different kind of like little critters and stuff like that. It'd be really cool to be able to toggle them on or off. And I know that sounds weird, but I think it would be a really good idea, especially for some people who have performance issues. It could potentially help with performance because now it doesn't have to, you know, account for all of these butterflies and fireflies and all these other little critters and stuff like that. If they did this, I think they could reasonably add more sprites and stuff to the game as well. I just think overall it'd be a good idea because, you know, you can toggle them off if they're bothering you. If you are, you know, doing something and they keep getting in your way, maybe you can just turn them off and stuff like that. I just think it would be a nice little addition, and it's not a big deal. I just think it, like I said, would be a nice addition. We can already toggle the UI off, so maybe we can toggle the sprites off, and maybe that'll help in some way. I don't know, but that's the last idea I have here for you all today. So I do hope that you enjoyed. If you guys have any ideas yourself, then let me know in the comments below, because I will potentially add them to the 13th episode of Ponytown Wishlist videos. So with that said, I don't have anything more to say, so please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do those wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become one of yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.